All right, so welcome to another video from the chart reader. So recording this a little later than ideal, but gotta say the video format at least gives me an option to record even when the day gets a little behind me. So again, as we've been doing, we're gonna review the NASDAQ composite. Again, we're looking at a daily view, and look at that, we actually had our nice bounce up. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide the lower indicators and we will start on the top as normal. So look, I was a 1 day early, right? I thought the bounce would actually come a day before, but just as we predicted, we did get a bounce off of this very strong 10-8 support line. And it looks like we actually went above 11.2. Did we even go above 11.3? Wow, we did. What was this high of the day? So it looks like we got as high as, no, we didn't cross the 11.23. Did we? No. Yeah, 2.5. Okay, cool. So this was the number I had right here. It was this one, 11.3. That makes sense. Those were my two. Nonetheless, though, we got to just between right in between them, right? The high of the day was 11.25, right? So that's actually pretty funny. So yeah, again, this is what we like to do, right? The goal is to anticipate the ups so that you can make your plays, right? And again, I said it yesterday. I hope you guys make your money. And look, there were a lot of green tickers today, right? So the chance was there. From here, I do want to see what the indicators look like because I do want to see what it seems. So interesting, the MACD didn't curl up as much as I would have liked to see it do. That is a little interesting. Let's see what so the RSI did continue to go up. Again, it didn't actually cross the red, so that's a little interesting. So I'll tell you, we went beyond that. We never hit the 11.3. Did we hit this one? We actually went beyond that one too, the 11.222. So I am actually not sure what tomorrow will look like. There's a good chance we continue this bounce up and maybe try to get closer to this 11.3 number that we had. There's a good chance that we actually come back down to the support and just kind of stay in this horizontal. Again, if you remember, I mentioned it could look something like this, where we kind of had this play, but obviously the opposite way. I thought it was going to be a little more like this, but obviously I was a day wrong, right? So this is a little bit of an interesting setup. I also want to throw out one thing. I don't really talk about candle patterns too much, but what this pattern shows, so a lot of people call it a dreidel, right? It kind of looks like the little spinny top. And basically it's a sign of, like, how do I say this? It's a very important sign that there's a lot of inconsistency in the market. There were times when we literally flew that high. There was actually a moment where we almost tanked and went as close to the 10-8 line as you really want to get, right? And then obviously ultimately we finished up here. But this thing went up and down a good amount, and the more extreme the wicks are on both ends, it's a sign that there's a bit of uncertainty in the market, right? So that said, I'll be honest with you, I would be a little wary. I think I would lean towards a continued up, or at least a little more horizontal. Don't get me wrong, I don't foresee us dropping below that 10.8 number just yet, at least. Again, we see that it's kind of starting to curve, right? At least the slope isn't getting as harsh. And then this one we saw, right? It didn't quite cross, but it's hopefully will cross. But again, the slopes on these two indicators aren't fantastic, so I'm not quite sure how strong tomorrow's movement will be. Let's see if the other majors give us a sign. So let's look at the Dow Jones. Again, wow, look at that, right? This is an even more dramatic view of that dreidel that we talked about. This is actually the most, like, when you have a very, very thin body and some very high wicks on both sides. Again, I rarely talk about candles themselves. That's a whole nother game that I don't really do too much. But look, the more information you can get, the better, as long as you don't do an information overload, right? So, but again, now we're looking at the Dow Jones on the daily. Again, a positive day. You still had those very high highs, the low lows, and again, we tested this 3-1 again. So we actually literally, what was the high of the day? If I can just click here real quick. You see the high of the day was 31 and 11. So literally $6, $5 more than my line. We did cross it. So look at that. Again, look at these indicators though, right? There's nothing dramatic. It's not like the MACD liked this day and said, all right, we're going to start curving. RSI again is continuing. This has a little bit more of a curve shape to it, but nonetheless, it's still below the red, right? So, again, I kind of think, especially looking at this view of the Dow, I still say either we have a minimal up day, potentially a low day, but in general, a horizontal feeling just based on these two. And then let's close it off with the SP5. Again, same thing, right? This dreidel candle shape with just extreme high wicks, extreme low wicks, and then a moderately small body, actually. And again, I imagine, yeah, look at that. Same MACD and same RSI, right? So I would have loved a little more confirmation here. I feel like I got to go a little more gut feeling here. And like I said, I would imagine we stay a little more of a neutral day than we do anything major up or down. So that's just my guess. Again, I'm really surprised the MACD did not react as much. Because look, again, a 2.5 day change after 1, 2, 3, 4, basically 5 days of bad. I would have thought that would have done something a little more, but nonetheless, look, we've seen it before, right? Where we've had literally 5 days in a row. Then we got like a nice little climb, even with this little red one right there, right? So again, the goal that we're trying to do is catch the nice bounce. Overall, I keep stressing it. Don't forget that we are in a very hard downtrend. There were no questions, actually. I didn't get anything on Twitter or over email. So I think this might be it to cover. Again, the goal is to make some money on these bounces up. It looks like we're at least still in a bounce up. Nothing's really screaming the bounce is over, but at the same time, nothing's really saying, hey, like we might come back up and test this 12.2 number yet, right? So I think tomorrow will be really important. I think if we have another good day, that might, if we have a good day, we'll for sure cross over the red with the RSI. Maybe the MACD will come a little closer. And really, if we have another good day, we might start talking about testing this 8 moving average again. So, but yeah, until then, I would still stay cautious. I would still watch the beginning of the market to see what the day would look like. But again, I do believe the beginning of the market should be pretty indicative of what the day will look like. So be safe out there. Again, I do hope you guys are learning a lot. And as you start looking at this more and more, hopefully you become more familiar, more comfortable, and hey, maybe you'll start being able to do this yourself. So have a great one. New video tomorrow.